I think they saw their best stuff in the first quarter and just shut everything down from that point on. What a great, convincing performance.
So for Los Angeles, the streak continues as they push their mark to a perfect 12-0 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead they fall to 5-7. And they'll look to get back.
All right. I would be very surprised if we didn't lock up the #1 seed this week, but we'll see if that materializes here. +5 zone coverage? Shit. What exactly is his zone coverage? 70? That's not bad. It's actually pretty good for a defensive end. Alright, anybody else? I don't think anybody else that we can upgrade right now that we care about. Let's see, here we go. We made the playoffs. Great win this week. Looks like it helped us lock up a playoff spot. And the best news of all, our conference is awful, and it looks like we're the #1 seed. That'll definitely make the road to the Super Bowl easier, eh? Great work this year. Oh, just like I said, we locked it up. We locked it up. All right. So really the only thing we have to do now is sim week 14, 15, 16, and 17. And then get the playoffs going. This part right here is probably going to be a little boring because all we're going to be doing is doing our training and simming everything, of course. Yeah, we won. Simming in this game is really dicey. A lot of times I've seen, even if I'm the better team, it'll penalize you for simming, and it often will cause you to lose, even though you're vastly superior team. Looks like we won that time around. I mean, our team is totally stacked. Yeah. Okay, we destroyed the Jets, 38-3. And we won again. We might run the table. All I have to do is play Miami in week 17. We might mess around and run the table. All right, can we do it? Can we get it done? Yes, we did it. We went undefeated. I mean, obviously it doesn't count all the way because I simmed, what, the last 4 or 5 weeks? 4 weeks. But we did it, technically. Of course, you know I don't normally simulate any games at all unless we lock up the #1 seed. A lot of rebuild videos and series you'll watch is they just sim the games. And then all they do is like off-season stuff. But here, we like to play every single game we can. Gameplay focused, gameplay heavy. And we're getting a lot of training in. I can't wait to see our upgrades. And then after we do our upgrades, I'm going to go ahead and look at our end of season stats, as is tradition. Upon completion of each regular season, we look back at our stats of all our players on our team. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do our upgrades. Let's see. Terrell Burgess. Our corner looks like he's going to finally hit 90 overall. Still only 25 years old. He's got 97 man coverage, which is excellent. 77 tackle, which is really good for a corner. 85 press, obviously, is good. Catching is below average. I'd say about average. Catching is average. Edwards turning into a really good tackle for us. I mean, look at that. 99 pass block finesse. This is, of course, with his morale. His morale is at 98 right now, so he's getting a +3 boost. However, he does have 99 pass block finesse, 95 run block finesse, which is awesome. Dominique Gabriel, a guy we drafted probably about 3 years ago now. He's still, 2 years ago. He's still only 23 years old. So the fact that he's 84 overall, it's really good. Of course, Kaiser, the captain of our defense. The reason all my players have like +3 boosts right now is because when you unlock home field advantage, it gives like every single player on your team +20 morale. Which makes sense. +1 speed? Oh shit. That's rare to get speed on a running back when you upgrade him. +1 speed again to Arthur Foster. Hell yeah. Dude, Arthur Foster is so damn good. And he's still only 24 years old. I mean, look at... The dude's got 85 tackle, which is great for an outside linebacker. But then he's got 93 acceleration, 89 power moves. Wow. I mean, that's like eye-popping numbers right there. Kicker, lineman. We'll get Joey McGee leveled up here. He's a backup center that we're developing. He'll probably be a starter within a year or two. I mean, his run block power and pass block power is decent already. Isaiah Millard will probably be starting next year, but fortunately you guys won't get to see that because this is the last season that I'm posting on my YouTube channel. 5 seasons worth. And then I'm moving on. Moving on to a different series. All these depth guys. Okay, anybody else? Oh, here we go. I really, really hate that Jared Goff's X Factor they gave me is Truz, which is like an ability that involves running. Like it's the Lamar Jackson ability, which makes absolutely no sense for the type of quarterback Jared Goff is. Usually the X Factors they give out are at least somewhat relevant to what type of player, what kind of, archetype they are, but that makes no sense. It's a little disappointing. All right, let's go into our end of season stats very quickly. So on the year, Goff threw for about 4,000 yards, threw for 44 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Excellent. 78% completion, which is unheard of. We had 2 running backs go over 1,000 yards. We had Jacques Davidson went for 1,370. Akers went for about 1,100. Akers edged out Davidson, though, in touchdowns, whereas Akers had 19. Davidson had 11. Yeah, neither one of those running backs fumbled all season, by the way. Receiving, we had 2 players go over 1,000. We had Van Jefferson went for 1,507 and 20 touchdowns on only 72 catches. And then we had Kupp go for 1,214 with 9 touchdowns. Our tight end, Picard, pitched in 8 touchdowns and about 500 yards receiving. And Deontay Harris was hurt for, I'd say, about half the season. So we didn't utilize him a lot. He only had 1 touchdown and 350 yards in the whole season. Akers actually had 5 receiving touchdowns, which is interesting. So, I mean, that's plus the initial, 19 that he scored. I mean, that's pretty crazy. Defense, our leading tackler was Mikhail Slate, who is a middle linebacker that we had once been a safety, but we converted him to a middle linebacker. He had 99 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 2 picks, and a forced fumble. Did he have a defensive touchdown? No. Okay, so he led us in tackling. Of course, we had Micah Kaiser, who's always up there in tackles. He only had a 72. Normally, he'll have more than that, but it's probably because I substituted him out quite a bit this year because he's getting up there in age. So I kind of started to phase him out, but still, he still had a sack and 3 interceptions and didn't force a fumble. Taylor Rapp had 1 interception for us, 1.5 sacks, 62 tackles. Terrell Lewis had 29 sacks, 10 tackles for loss. Just a monster season. David Long, 5 interceptions. Excellent. John Johnson had no interceptions. He didn't really do much this year, actually. Kazir White had 2 interceptions, 1 tackle for loss, no sacks. Donald had 15.5 sacks, 15 tackles for loss. Burgess, 4 interceptions. Ramsey, 5 interceptions. Price pitched in 9 sacks of his own, 7 tackles for loss. Gabriel, 2 sacks. Aiden Newberry had 2 interceptions. This kid, I love this kid. He's probably going to be playing more than not this year, next year, I should say. Chambers pitched in 3.5 sacks, and Arthur Foster pitched in 3.5 sacks. We're going to have to get Arthur Foster heavily involved next year for sure. And I think that's really about it. Let's go to the end of year awards. So Lamar Jackson MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Goff. Defensive Player of the Year, obviously, is Terrell Lewis. I mean, the dude had 29 sacks. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Doesn't look like we have anybody in the running for that one. Defensive Rookie of the Year, again, don't have anybody in the running. Goff, best quarterback. Cam Akers, best running back. Van Jefferson and Cooper Kupp, 1 and 2 in the wide receiver category. Offensive line, we have P.J. Goldberg, David Edwards, Wes Moore, and Tremaine Ankrum. And we have our whole offensive line in the top 10. That's incredible. Defensive line, Aaron Donald came in second place. Linebacker, Terrell Lewis, obviously. The 29 sacks put him above anybody else. And then defensive back, we had David Long, Ramsey, and Burgess all in the top 10, which is insane. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream off here. We've made tremendous progress in our final season during our Madden 21 franchise rebuild. And when we pick up next time, we will be playing the NFC Championship game. I'm sorry. Correct that. We will be playing the NFC Divisional round. And then if we advance, we will be playing the Conference Championships. And if we advance, obviously, we'll be playing our final Super Bowl. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and duck out now. Cut the stream off while we are ahead, while we've made our good progress. And next time, we will pick up right where I just indicated. So I will see you guys all later. Bye-bye.